The dawn of the Neolithic Age marked one of the most transformative periods in human history. It was a time when early humans, once wanderers in a vast and unpredictable world, began to settle in permanent communities. This change was driven by the discovery of agriculture, a revolutionary advancement that allowed humans to cultivate crops and domesticate animals. The shift from a hunter-gatherer existence to an agricultural lifestyle reshaped human society, paving the way for civilization as we know it today. Imagine a fertile valley, nestled between rolling hills and nourished by a gentle river. For centuries, small groups of humans had passed through, hunting wild animals and gathering edible plants. But as their knowledge deepened, they realized they could control the land rather than simply take from it. They began to plant seeds deliberately, watching as crops like wheat and barley sprouted from the soil. This newfound skill gave them food security and the ability to store surplus grain for the future. With a stable food supply, the first Neolithic settlements emerged. One such settlement was a small village by the river, home to several extended families. At its heart stood a cluster of brown mud brick huts, their roofs made from reeds and dried grasses. Inside, fire pits crackled with warmth as families prepared meals from freshly harvested grain, grinding it into flour to bake flatbreads. The air smelled of earth, smoke, and the faint sweetness of stored fruit. As the days passed, life in the village revolved around farming. At dawn, men and women walked to their fields, tending to crops with rudimentary stone tools. They used wooden plows to till the soil, planting seeds in neat rows. Some villagers built irrigation channels to divert water from the river, ensuring their plants received enough moisture. Others ventured beyond the settlement, herding sheep and goats that provided meat, milk, and wool. With the rise of agriculture came the need for cooperation. Neolithic communities worked together to construct granaries, large storage buildings that protected their food from pests and the elements. They also established social rules, recognizing that disputes over land or resources could threaten their fragile way of life. Elders or chiefs emerged as leaders, guiding the settlement with wisdom and experience. But the Neolithic world was not without its challenges. Weather remained unpredictable, and a prolonged drought could devastate crops, forcing people to ration their food. Wild animals still roamed the land, sometimes preying on livestock or even the villagers themselves. And as settlements grew, competition for fertile land led to conflicts with neighboring groups. Despite these hardships, the benefits of settled life far outweighed the risks. The invention of pottery was another milestone. Villagers crafted clay pots to store grains, water, and cooked meals, making food preservation easier. They also developed weaving techniques, creating baskets and cloth from plant fibers. Art and craftsmanship flourished, with early humans decorating pottery with intricate patterns, perhaps as a way to express their cultural identity. Religious and spiritual beliefs also evolved. The Neolithic people worshipped nature, believing the sun, rain, and earth held divine powers. They erected simple shrines and buried their dead with care, often placing tools and food alongside them, suggesting a belief in an afterlife. Some communities built megalithic structures, such as stone circles or burial chambers, which still stand today as silent witnesses to their spiritual practices. Over generations, the small village grew into a thriving community. More families arrived, drawn by the promise of fertile land and safety in numbers. Trade routes formed, connecting distant settlements. People exchanged surplus grain for flint tools, animal skins, or decorative beads, fostering relationships beyond their immediate surroundings. As centuries passed, Neolithic settlements laid the foundations for larger, more complex societies. Towns emerged, leading to the birth of the first cities. The knowledge of farming spread across continents, shaping civilizations from Mesopotamia to the Indus Valley, from Egypt to China. The simple act of planting a seed had ignited a chain reaction that would define human history. The Neolithic Age was more than just an era of change. It was the beginning of a new way of life. It demonstrated humanity's ability to adapt, innovate, and build communities based on shared effort and survival. The echoes cities we inhabit, the food we cultivate, and the societies we have constructed. Thus, the journey from wandering bands of hunter-gatherers to settled farmers was not just a change in lifestyle, it was the dawn of civilization itself.